The woman actually created a brain that could be removed. She mixed the blood of all the animals. She wanted to create a species that wouldn't age, but discovered that in less than an hour, they could grow. Bigger brain. A basketball is born with mature intelligence, but they suddenly have no evolved arms or legs, only the brain still move. The surprised woman puts it in an experimental box so that it and its offspring can meet humans. The woman wanted to test if it could talk. When it opened its mouth, a meter-long tongue protruded from its body. The two meatballs kissed each other passionately and said hello using the nerves on the tongue. They secretly rejoiced in their hearts as their colleagues used computers to translate the resulting terrifying data. They evolved by communicating. They could be combined into strange species. Extracting proteins from them could treat everything, including cancers in humans. The woman showed the result to the boss and felt that continuing to research immortality would definitely be achieved, and then mass-producing this proteins one day would be enough for the uncle to earn hundreds of dollars. $1 million. The woman easily persuaded her uncle to organize a promotional meeting, calling on the world's richest people to participate. For the first time, 2 meat buns were displayed. She was ready to demonstrate to everyone. People who saw their evolutionary process did not expect that this time they could pull out their thorns and actually kill each other on the spot. They also smashed and destroyed the people around them. The bulletproof glass fell on the rich man. She not only failed, failings in public also embarrassed the boss. It also caused the entire company stock to drop. The result was understandable. She was fired immediately. She couldn't understand why the experiment failed. She was dating her husband's. Also researched the biology of the meat dumpling boots and patiently observed its changes. After a while of research, they discovered the secret that this creature could actually change gender at will. So when product display, it was 2 males, so they would fight each other. After the couple continued to conduct in-depth research, they discovered that the sex-changing creature had stronger heading abilities, which proved that the research direction was right. They did not secretly build a bigger lab, started researching things that had meet second reproductive stage successful breeding. Gained the ability to never age. Asa, the more she thought about it, the more ambitious she became to make the experiment more stable. This time, she extracted the genes of volunteers and injected them into new experimental subjects to prepare to develop a new human race, but her husbands felt this was wrong. Is illegal. If these things are exposed, the 2 of you will have to sit in the closet just as you are about to destroy it with just 1 click. Stop. Because of Elsa words, press the start button again. If successful, I will created an immortal human being. This bald beauty used her arms, which actually grew 4 wings. She bent down harder. Another pair of fins grew from standing. It combined with a strong tail behind her butt. He was the first person who could fly with wings to create this wonderful human. Just mix the blood of all animals, add the genes of sexy women, and you can get a sexy species. Just wait a minute, at night it can grow. Ella approached the creature with a robot, preparing to catch it with her hands. As a result, she was bitten as soon as she put her hand in. She quickly called the person next to her for help. Glider knew at a glance what this meant. It didn't want to live anymore. He quickly opened the door at the bottom of the machine to let the water inside escape first. Then he used a tool to destroy the water on the outside of the machine and prepared to peel its neck with his bare hands. He quickly used scissors to cut the artificial membrane. Inside the seed was alive and not dead. In fact, he cut the umbilical cord himself and it crawled all over the floor. Clay looked like an aardvark. Boss, he wasn't scared. He grabbed the box on the ground and locked it inside. Then he took the heaviest machine and pushed it in, just trapping it. Only then did CLE have time to take off Elsa's gloves and take care of the wound with tooth marks everywhere. He saw her, rolling her eyes. She began to twitch all over her body. Non-stop, it looked like she wasn't alive anymore. Clyde quickly dug out the bottle of medicine used in emergencies. The needle stabbed into Elsa's leg, causing her to faint immediately. It wasn't the pain that woke her up right away. That is, after all, this is Cry's wife. He couldn't bear to see his wife leave. He was the one who supported his wife in doing this. Elsa went to solve the trouble. As a result, as soon as he picked up the scalpel, he saw that the mud had cracked. There was nothing inside. She immediately had a bad feeling. Sure enough, she turned around and saw a monster hanging above its head. It actually had legs like a kangaroo running around in the lab. Elsa saw it was harmless, so she didn't want to kill it anymore. She actually took off her gloves and put her hand towards it. She wanted to lure the monster closer. Unexpectedly, her husband behind her gave it a hammer. They both succeeded in catching the monster. About research in the laboratory, the monster brain was just discovered to be twice the size of a human's. In just a few hours, it had grown to the size of a little girl. The woman quickly took blood to test it for real, saw that this blood stain can regenerate several hands and heal all diseases. This means that people who drink its blood can treat aging. When the time comes that 1 drop of blood can sell $100 million, people will rush to see and buy it. The bigger it is, the more beautiful it will become, despite her husband's objections. Elsa locks the monster in the basement and takes on the role of its mother. She raises the monster by force. An 18-year-old girl looks like that. This is so unexpected it start to break up. The humanoid grows a spiky tail, want to use its tail to pierce Elsa's neck. This girl only has 4 fingers but she has 3 legs and walks like a real person, a mutant, into a thick tail. If it was in a bad mood, it would poke out its tail and sting someone. It immediately stabbed the cat to death just because it was itchy. Elsa saw that and immediately scolded it. She didn't expect that this time the girl wouldn't obey, using force to force. He also used sharp teeth to threaten her. She thought he was going to take her life, but what he was aiming for was the key. It turned out that this bad girl wanted to escape. Seeing sunlight for the first time made her very scared, excited, but Elsa knocked her out and she glared at the table. After all, this is just an animal created by her but with the intelligence of an adult. Elsa picked up the scissors and cut her clothes. The girl was about to perform surgery on her. The woman saw the girl plea and immediately pressed down on her arm to inject anesthesia and painlessly removed the thorn on her tail. Unexpectedly, as soon as she was cut off, the thorn grew back. Again, Elsa quickly took off the spike and took them for research. It turned out that the girl blood had the ability to regenerate. Drinking it could even just postpone aging. But Elsa didn't sell the girl to the lab. Instead, she hugged her girl in her own bed. She secretly used her own genes to transform this defective child, feeding the child alone, telling her child that growing up fast is also producing fast, so she treat him like her own child. But the girl still an accident. She started to age after growing a tail. Within a minute, she stopped breathing. Elsa couldn't hold back her tears. Holding her head, she couldn't leave the girl, but she still had to put her on the throne, gold, and took all her toys, threw it in the fire, and burned it all to prevent others from discovering the girl's existence. As a result, the land was still not filled. They heard the girl cry. The woman looked up with a look of fear. She discovered that she had been revived and transformed into a man, that when she realized her own mistake by modifying animals at will, she couldn't control the monster. No longer recognizing her, it knocked Elsa down with just one sound and used a sharper thorn to penetrate her body. Fortunately, her husband arrived in time to use a tree branch to stab the monster body, but unfortunately, the monster has evolved. The wound is nothing to it now. The wife has the opportunity to finish the monster, but she hesitates to take action. This gives the monster time to kill her husband. When she comes down, everything was too late. She was in pain because of her weakness, which led to her husband's death, but everything was too late. She fainted because she was too tired, but who knows if that thing will come back to life when at the end of the movie, the wife returned to her normal work. But we will see that her belly is already pregnant and that the director has her own plans for the baby inside her. Now that I'm here, I don't dare to think about it anymore. People are so scary when they always think they are the creator, but they don't know that the pregnancy belonged to the husband and the monster that gave her the movie without any epic scenes. But on the contrary, the characters' creation skills are amazing, amazingly beautiful and realistic. Looking at the monster as if it really exists in the world. Some parts one still don't believe can be done so carefully, and the best part is the screenplay. But the opening button of the movie is not as strong as it contains the pictures. The turning point surprises the viewer, as well as the well-constructed and well-installed popular science elements that create an impressive ending. Synthesize is a science fiction horror film co-produced by Canada and France. The story involves experiment in genetic engineering conducted by a young scientists couple who tried to implant human DNA into the mammalian genome as part of their research. The movie has many scenes that has been removed because it can be haunting. You should consider if you really want to watch this movie. Today movie is over. Please remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the movie. Next movie. Bye bye.